Hey there YouTube, we got an unboxing video for you today. This is a Thorstone no spill radiator coolant filling funnel kit. That's a lot to say. But I saw this where I need to burp the radiator when I work on this car. And so I have a regular like a Honda / Toyota. This cap is almost exactly the same for all of these. And so this supposedly is supposed to sit right where this cap is. So we're gonna take this cap off, unbox this and see if this is actually any good. I got this on Amazon. It was $15, $15 to $20. You know how their prices change. So inside this is this kind of like nice self-contained cap with the filler and everything, but it has a lid on it, so you can throw all the components back in, which is kind of nice. So, and I'm sure this hung on a, like, if you wanted to hang it on a clip, you could just hang it like that, and it would suspend. I'm gonna throw it in a drawer, so don't throw the cap away. Inside, we've got a funnel, okay? And then there are some pieces like this. And people have had all these comments like, what are these for? Why do you have them? Blah, blah, blah. And so there's just little elbows and like extensions to basically make this stand up. It's gonna be like this. So this will stand, and then you would set this inside the radiator. But you need a cap. So they have all these different little fittings in here. So this is one. And then this is another one. And so there's different kinds, different sizes, right? Different strokes for different folks. So what we're gonna see is if any of these actually work with my car, because that's all that matters for me right now. And if it doesn't, then I'm going to send it back. There's also this cool like little plunger inside that comes with it. So let's see, does it have any instructions? It just tells you, warning, do not allow pressure to build with this plug inserted. So if you wanted to fill your reservoir up like this, you fill this up and then you pull the plunger and then it would drain all the way down. So cool, that's nice. What you also need to do in order to burp this, and we're gonna do this later, is this is where your radiator fill is in this particular car. Some of them you can really fill it in the overflow, but this is built, this is a little cap it comes with. So we're gonna see if this actually fits. Okay, so that actually does not fit very well. It gets kind of stuck right there, but it doesn't come off, so I'm not going to call that a failure yet. Let's see if anything fits inside this cap. So I'm going to, like I said, I've never used this before, so let's go ahead and just see if I can figure this out on my own and try this out. So putting that like that is obviously a bad idea. That's not going to really work much. I was trying to figure out if I put that, because then this would need to go here. Well, I guess that could work. If you take the rubber piece off like this and put it in there and kind of hold it, then we put this here, that it's not going to hold any pressure, but I feel like if it bites on just enough right there. Now let's make this extension, okay? And it's kind of woggly wiggly, as my kids would say. So I'm not going to call that successful. So I think we need this little rubber piece in there. That'd be really funny if it fell in the radiator. I'm sure you guys would laugh at that one. You're like, dude, what are you doing? I know. So there's another radiator cap style. Let's just see, do they match up? Let's try this one. Don't lose your radiator cap. Okay, so far nothing. This does not fit at all. Okay, so it's definitely not this one. And this obviously one which looks like more of a reservoir type. So, it must be, this is the only one that kind of fits on there. And it will hold itself, like I said, kind of snug right there, but that's about it. But I'm not satisfied with the way this is sitting here. So let's see if they have any other fittings for this car. We have this. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So this fits in there. So these aren't numbered. I'm sorry, I'll take that wrong. This one is Charlie, or C. Well, you non-military folks out there. Oh, look at that. So it actually causes pressure and allows you to push and turn a little bit. Okay. It's holding. That's good. So now I'm going to put this in here. Now, one of the things that they have this angle for some reason, like, I don't know, maybe this looks cooler like this. I have no idea why. If you're not straight up and down, you could use this to angle it up. They also have this other elbow here, where we could really get some craziness. That again is not what we're gonna do. The reason why this matters is because I'm gonna put this like this. I'm gonna jack the car up though. You want your radiator and this to be the highest point. So that way when you quote unquote, they call it burping, you're gonna pour a bunch of fluid in here. You're gonna take this out and then run your car. When we do this, we're gonna do this in a little bit because I gotta finish putting the sensor in that I took out for the temperature sensor. So I got a hole in the block right now where it's just sitting there because I'm waiting for that part to come in from eBay. So thanks whoever sold that to me. That was like 16 bucks versus 80 from the dealership. But when I jack this car up, this is going to change the angle of this a little bit, but it's still pretty sturdy. So I think this is actually going to work. And it feels pretty solid. What you don't want is radiator fluid all over the place. This is holding well. So that's good. If I needed to adjust the angle just a little bit, I could use this. I think the idea is maybe, well, it still seems kind of extreme. But if I was really to jack it up, then it would make this adjust. But you guys get the idea. So I think for me, I'm going to just have it like this. That's good enough. When this is the highest point, bubbles will form in the coolant as it is basically filled. And then when I'm done, what you can do is take this and then stick it inside. So that way you don't have coolant. Because if you don't have this here and you're like, well, we're done, and you just all this radiator fluid going everywhere, you're going to kill your cat. And your wife won't like that. So you stick this in here. That holds the plunger in and causes suction, just like, you know, if you had a straw. Then, and I'm going to try this later, so we'll see. Then you should be able to pull this up, and it should hold what's in here unless you tipped it or introduced air into it. But if you kept it like this, we should be able to then put this in like either the overflow reservoir and drain the rest in there. Or if that's filled too, then I'm going to put it back in the container because this will be all clean. So just make sure this is cleaned out. There's like a couple little like plastic shaving pieces in here, so we don't want that in the radiator. So we'll wipe this out first. But that's it, guys. So for the quote-unquote unboxing and usefulness of this, there was instructions in here. So it basically tells you what I kind of figured out. And it even says that there's figures B, C, or D. I talked about a 45-degree elbow. Fill the funnel a third full, okay. Keep the RPM at idle, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, basically, fill it up, have coolant do its thing when it's done. Because if you don't burp it, like, you can just take the cap off. But it's not the same as actually watching the bubbles come up through here and having it drain down. So this is supposed to be a better way of doing this. Shops use these as well. And you want this higher than the engine block. So when we jack this up, this will allow the radiator to be the highest level, which will then cause the air bubbles to rise and come through the system and come up. We'll need to turn the heater on and turn it on very low, but turn the heater on max. That way it opens up the system to let the heater core open and allow all of the radiator fluid, or lack thereof in some of these pipes, to flow through and come to the top. That's what we got to do. So I'm going to give this, for now, I'm going to give this an A. So this looks like a buy. Very cheap thing, and it's easy to just pour stuff in. So this will make it very useful. We're going to try this out next video, see if this actually works and burps the system. So hang tight. Please like and subscribe, guys, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for the channel.